So what's up guys, and welcome back to the channel for the VFX Masterclass course. Okay, so on this part we're going to be talking about cloning. Like if you actually see this in this video, we actually duplicated myself. You can see it. Sorry, it's actually making a glitch, but as you can see it, so it's not really much difficult thing to do. So let me just give you a breakdown and explanation for this. So basically the cloning is just basically making yourself duplicate of yourself in the same scene. Now I know you guys might be wondering how this got done. Some of you might already know. So yeah, there are also a lot of things, some few things you need to take into consideration before making a clone effect. So basically, if you're actually making a clone, basically just want to make yourself a duplicate. Like if you can see this person, this is person A and person B. If actually you want to make a clone of yourself, basically one of the things you need to think of is that you need to actually pretend to be actually like you're actually talking to yourself. So let's say for a scene where like let me just start from the lowest, like this kind of scene where we're not actually talking, we just had to wave and look at each other. Like what I actually did was I actually had to time myself. Like most people actually use music to time themselves, some people use a stopwatch to time themselves, but me, I was actually using my brain. Like I actually had to calculate the time, like within a period of 5 to 6 seconds I was in like tick talk. So I actually started the time when I actually raised my hand. So this was me counting. When I actually raised my hand, it was me starting to count. The clip did not actually start there though. I just had to start filming, and then I went to sit. I actually had to go sit at the chair, and then I started recording. So when my hand actually like this was actually like this, I started recording. So it started counting. I started counting like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, and then at the 6th second I started to say, oh. So I had to do the same thing for this other shot, which is shot B. And one thing you also must always make sure is that the camera position is not changed. After I actually filmed the first scene, let me show you this. After I actually filmed the first scene, I literally did not come close to the camera. I did not touch the camera. I had to immediately go film scene B. Like for those of you who are actually trying to make a scene where you actually have to talk to yourself, there are so many ways to do this. You can actually set somebody to be on point B. So as soon as you talk, the person responds to you, and when you're done with the scene, you actually move over to point B, and the person move over to point A. You repeat the same thing, and then before you start doing the edit, which I'm going to be showing you guys how to do that. So basically, I'm going to start this over again. So let me start everything from fresh. Let me do this and start back. So let's start with this. This is actually my clip, which is, if you could check this now, if I should bring this down, this is me trying to set up the camera and then move from one angle to another, me moving over, and then you can see this is the first part. You can see nothing is here. After filming this, I had to go move over to the other side, which I actually moved into the room. Yeah, as you can see that. So now basically what we have to do here is we're trying to clone this stuff, but you might actually do this. There are different ways to do this. Okay, you can actually trim your clip in two. So just so you know, but just because my clip, I don't want to touch the camera, because if you're doing this, you don't need to touch the camera, because if you check the camera, it might affect the scene. Okay, it might make it not look real. So I'm gonna be starting with the point. Like I said, I actually started with the part. I started counting when I raised my hand to the top. So which is, I think it's this part. Let me check it, which is here. So here will be the startup point. So I'm going to take this part and then cut this out by pressing Alt and open bracket. So I'm going to bring this to the beginning, make sure it's at this point. So let me zoom a little bit. This is quite trickish though. So now it should be here. So now I'm going to take this part now to the part where, because there has to be a reference point where you have to mark to match the two clip. So I have to take this to the part. Okay, this is the part where I actually looked and then raised my hand. So this would be my reference point. So I'm going to press Shift and 1 on your keyboard to mark this point. So this actually places a marker on your timeline. anywhere the indicator is, that's where you place the timeline. So yeah, that's it. And then I'm going to wait till it ends, till I'm about to stand up. Okay, so this is where it stopped. So what I have to do is press Control Shift and D to duplicate the to cut this clip. So I'm going to look on this other clip to see like I'm out of the scene, and then let me just trim this now. And then I have to look at this clip to the part where I also actually responding back to that same wave, which is this part too. So I need this part to be, you can put any part underneath each other. Okay, it doesn't really matter, any part can be, but I'm just going to, for the sake of tutorial, let me just rename this. This is the first one though. This is the first side, which is the left, person A. I'm going to rename this as left, just so you guys can understand clearly, for those of you actually not done this before. Left. And for this person on the right, which is this, I'm going to name this as right. Rename as right. I actually did film this on my phone, that's why it's not that clear. My phone is not that good. So this is it. So I'm going to take the clip that says left, I'm going to take this to the top, and then bring the one called right underneath it. Now we're not seeing the one at the right, okay, but that's not a problem. So I'm just going to shut down the left layer. Okay, shut down the left layer. So now I need it to match, I need this clip now to match to that part, you know, the part where I'm actually responding, where I actually open my hand. So I want it to match with this one. So yeah, it's exactly at that point. So once you've noticed the clip have matched each other, because if I should turn this back on, this is you can see it's actually somehow the same. So the next thing we have to do is select the clip at the top, come over to your max. This is why I actually the max, this is where it comes in play. So drag over, make sure it's opening, and then up to this extent should be good enough. Make sure it does not interfere with this other one. That's why when making the scene, you need to know the points where you need to walk into and not to walk into. So if I should take this back, you could see, if I should play this now, get something like this. So let's watch. Okay, and then wow, oh, you see, like it looks like everything just syncs together. And here's a mistake. This is why you don't need to walk into the other part where your actual clone character is actually located. Yeah, basically, I know you guys might also be wondering, like, how do they do this in most advanced film? Right, those are advanced cloning, whereby sometimes it doesn't actually it's not actually the real actor. There's actually somebody that's actually playing a stunt double that dresses like the real actor to make it look good. But for this is just a minor cloning trick, which most content creators and YouTubers do for their stuff. And make sure the camera is not shaky. You might also want to use the tripod for this. So yeah, that's it. And just in case your clip does not match, you can manually try to adjust it from underneath here, and you can see, yeah, if I just check it, you see it does not match, and you can see, yeah. So if yours doesn't match, you can actually just tweak it, move it front or backwards, just to make sure the clips match. So that's it for cloning. And also, if you, just in case you don't want to use the square tool, let's say your clip is, you need to actually get it right, you can manually come over to the max part which you've created, and then add max points, different points to the, let's say there's a part whereby your other character move into the other scene and you want to make it look good. You can manually animate this, just like I said in the other tutorial on how to animate max part, by pressing M on your keyboard, turning the stopwatch, and then start adjusting it. But that's something we all don't want to do. It's a time consuming stuff, and we don't want to do that. So that's why we need to just mark out our points. You can place marker on the floor and then do what you need to do. So let's say you don't want to use that square shape tool. You can literally just come over to the pen to select the points. Let me say zoom out a little bit. So let me zoom out a little bit. Just select the points from here. You can also make a rough marks with this. It doesn't have to be good, and you're still gonna get the same thing. So that's it for cloning on After Effects. Yeah, basically that's the major way almost a lot of people use. You might also try to want to use green screen. So that's it for this. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, Victor Trolls, and that'll be all for now. So let's head on to the next one.